Okay. Introduce yourself and briefly explain the project that you're working on in this RU program.
KhalyleF, a computer science student from Jackson State University. I'm a senior year, and for my project, it's dealing with wireless nodes. I'm working on a new protocol for communication, the Ldr Protocol. It's similar to this a DSR protocol, which basically is a no restriction connection between nodes to get data from point A to point B. LDR implements a slight requirement in order to make the nodes last longer, make the connections last longer, I should say.
Okay. Now that you've been here 9 weeks, how do you feel about the overall accomplishments of your project?
I felt I could do more. It took a while to really, I don't know, I guess to grasp. I knew the graph theory. It just, I don't know. It didn't go as smoothly as I wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about it.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being poor, 5 being excellent, how would you personally rate yourself in the fields of wireless ad hoc networking and sensor networking?
A 3.
3? Okay. Should there be any changes in the way students are mentored in this program? If you think so, name some that you would recommend.
I think so. I think that even though, as we got more independent on and on, that still having the advisor in the room at like once a week would be great. Would amount all my questions. No, I could email him, but it's just so much quicker and straightforward when he just sits down and types it out for you. Other than that, I'm sure there's other things to improve, but that's the first one that just really comes to my mind that I've constantly thought, but she was here.
Cool. Makes sense. Comment on the logistics of the program. Was it well organized?
Yeah, it was well organized.
Okay. Do you have any specific comments as to how things worked out?
I suggest going to Subway for lunch instead of the McAllister's. I think they do catering. Maybe not. I don't know. If you get the food in the morning, it'd be cold subs. I wish that we did more things outside the classroom, but even if it was like if it was financed by our pay, it would still be cool if at meetings. Another thing, maybe bi-weekly meetings, but it'd be cool that if we had something where we all met up and it'd be like, so what do you guys want to do now? And we'd be like, we want to do X, and they'd be like, well, it costs Y amount of dollars, and we just agree whether we want to pay it or not. That'd have been fun. I personally went out of town, and other students did, but I guess the more organized sense of recreational stuff would have been fun as well.
Fair. All right. So Dr. Megan Nathan was your principal mentor on your project. How much did he motivate you and help you out?
He helped me out a great deal. At the beginning, he was just spitting hot knowledge. But I would say a lot of times I was making a big deal out of what was a small problem, and he would just point me well, have you tried this, or have you thought of it like this? And then everything just fell into place, and it made things a world easier. I probably would be still programming. Well, I've been finished programming, but I probably would just only finish programming if I hadn't asked him some questions.
Makes sense. Dr. Moore, the director of the CS department here at Jackson, also presented orientation sessions during the middle of the program. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being not at all, and 5 being most definitely, how much did this session enhance your interest in pursuing the terminal degree that you are looking at toward now?
Like grad school?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm pretty set to go to grad school, whether it's immediately after college or after I get a job and pay off undergrad. I want to go to grad school, so that's taken into account. I guess it would be a 5 if I didn't want to, if I hadn't wanted to go, because she told great stories that I feel other students should hear.
Yeah.
Should hear, especially in our department here at Jackson State. But I've always wanted to go, so that was just nice to listen to what she had to say.
Okay. There were also some research seminars on bioinformatics, digital image processing, RSA encryption, biosimulations, and high performance programming and computing. How would you personally rate these seminars?
They were all right. Is there a scale?
Not really. It's just your general opinion.
I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it like a 7 in average. It was they were presentations. You know, it wasn't like the TED talks or anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Sweet. In terms of presentation and speech and writing, how would you compare your skills before the program to how they are now?
Well, I'm still working on my skills. This last presentation is going to be loads better than what it has been, but from the first one to the third one, I would say that I've gotten better. My writing has definitely improved presentation-wise. I think so. I added color to my slides, a little inside joke, but you know, I think I've just gotten better. All right, just from repetition.
Sweet. Comment on the usefulness of the feedback that you got back.
The feedback was, it was all right.
Yeah, I just need some caffeine. Starting to droop.
It was all right. Feedback, it was, I guess it conveyed the sense across. I wish it was more in depth. I wish it was maybe like a day he said, or just not even a day, just like he walked in the next day and was like, all right, this is what we said, and do you have any questions? You know, and I probably would have a more in-depth idea of what I need to do. I mean, what was said was pretty on point, but I don't know, it was just, it felt a little bit kind of like here you go, and that was it. Cool.
All right. What are the major strengths of this program? And if there are any, what would be its weaknesses?
Strengths would definitely be getting us ready for this program. You know, I'd already taken an algorithms course beforehand, so a lot of the early presentations, like about half of them were a review for me, stuff I already knew, and even I looked at stuff before I came here and refreshed myself. But just the wealth of information we were given at the beginning was very useful and like key to understanding what we had to do, at least for me. Other things, presentations, as much as I didn't like them and didn't like the papers, but that's just a student not liking them. They were very good, and just getting us used to the whole process. So that way, when the end comes and we have to do it, we've already done it 3 times, and so we can use our old material. We can build upon what we've already done. You know, because I can imagine it being a ridiculous stressful period if we were just like, yep, there you go, you got to give us a 12-page paper, a 30-minute presentation at the end, and we didn't have any benchmarks on the way. You know, now I can go back and take what I've learned, work with the material I've already done, and add new stuff, and I'm not starting from scratch.
Yeah.
For improvements, like I said, out of program activities would have been nice. A little bit more info about what to do around town would be nice as well. That's really just the main thing. I just you know, I was in my room a lot this summer.
All right. Well, a couple more questions. Rate your coding experience in the program. How much knowledge have you gained with respect to logic development and implementation, as well as the programming language you have worked on?
All right, so rate my coding. I'd say my coding was average. It was I don't know. I don't know if it's just because I just had been exposed to it already, but nothing I really worked with or even was showed was completely new. They were concepts at least I have heard of before and understood, what they're supposed to do, if not the syntax. So it was an average. But I did learn that just better ways to look at problems, so I didn't spend days trying to implement something where I only needed to change an if statement.
Yeah.
And what were the other parts of the question?
Comment on the knowledge that you gained on the programming language that you worked on.
Knowledge I gained from Java. I don't know. I've been working with Java since college, and I've looked at it. I've been curious about it since like the end of high school, so I've already been familiar with it. So I didn't really learn too much about it.
Okay.
I learned that you can put. No, that's not. No, I knew that already. Never mind. So no, I didn't learn too much about Java.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you think your research is publishable? And tell us why.
Surprisingly, I do think that it is publishable. The quality of the paper, notwithstanding, I think what I've actually done is publishable, because as far as my program research information I was given stated that I'm doing something. I'm working with a protocol that hasn't been done before, which is a big indicator of whether or not it's worth it. And I've been running simulations like all day this week, these 2 days, and the results are coming out quite promising and interesting. It looks like that it's going to be a trade-off of pros and cons on my algorithm, or on the protocol, I should say. It looks like it's going to be a trade-off of pros and cons, but it looks like that it's going to be of use. It looks like people are going to be able to, it's going to be a recognizable choice when choosing how to best handle a wireless node situation.
Cool. Finally, on a scale of 1 to 100%, how confident were you in research before attending this research program? And how confident are you now?
How confident was I? I was probably about like 50% confident. Research, I've never been good at writing research papers. I've never been good at writing long research papers. I can tell you I can tell you all about it really quickly, but if you want me to go in depth, it's always been difficult if my opinion wasn't involved. And for actual research, like working in a lab, I did it last summer. I liked it. It went well, but it was a different kind of thing. It was more of a social. Well, I would say social because we had to actually meet people. We had to actually talk to people, ask people what do they want their research to be. Because we had a boss. We had just a regular person boss, and then we had to ask them what they wanted. And then we had a few people who would use our program periodically, and we would update it based on what they did. So it was different than I experienced here. As for how much do I feel about it, I feel a little bit better. Because now I know what it's like to just be to yourself and researching to yourself and working on this stuff. To be honest, most of the research that I'm really doing was at the very beginning when I read about everything leading up to what makes my project valid and worthwhile. And then starting from like the end of last week to now, because in the middle it was me programming, it was me working out, making my protocol work. And then now that everything is all legit, finally, and everything's coming together, I'm in the research part. I'm checking out what the stats are, not what I think makes it worthwhile, but what actually is worthwhile about it. And so, because that's what I'm doing right now, I'm getting a better taste of research. I would say so it's improved.
Cool. What's your ending percentage?
Ending percentage, 70%.
Okay. That's good. All right. Thanks, Khalyle. Appreciate it.